Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tutorials, and in this video we're going to be building out our shopping list. Now the best part about the shopping list is that we can reuse some code from our in menu and we can grab the same items. Now after that we just have to iterate over the ingredients, add some HTML, some new templates, and we should be all set. So let's get started right now. So in the last video, we cleaned up our recipe book and we cleaned up our menu quite a bit, and things are looking really nice, but we're still lacking a shopping list. Now the shopping list is essentially going to take the recipes from the recipe book that have been selected to the menu. So they're going to be these recipes, and then it's going to go through and grab their ingredients and then list them in a list so that we know what ingredients that we need to buy when going shopping. Now this is going to be really super easy. Let's head to our Sublime Text and let's go ahead and just create a new file here. What we can essentially do is we have this, we can just go ahead, I'm going to put it in client right now. We can always put this into its own folder later. We can say new file, and this new file is going to be shopping list.html. Now this is going to be a template with a name of, you guessed it, shopping list. Okay. And if we come back to our routing code, which you'll remember we had in the lib routes folder, you can see that we don't yet have a route for this page. So we have our recipe book, we have our individual recipe, and then we have our menu. So let's go ahead and just copy the menu because this is going to be very similar. And it's actually looking already in our navigation for shopping-list. So we can just say shopping-list, and same with the name for the route. Now we want to be using the main layout, and in the main area, we want to be using not that shopping list, we want to be using shopping list in this first letter capitalized version of camel case. So we can say main shopping list. Okay, so now what should happen is, let's just go ahead and throw an H1 with our class of page title. We can just say H1 page title, my shopping list, like so. And now when we head to the page, we should see that it renders my shopping list. Perfect, cool. So that's exactly what we were wanting. That means the route itself is working. We can now see that when you click back and forth, everything's all good. So now let's actually get started building the actual list itself. Now what we need is essentially a list of all of the ingredients. Now the easiest way to do that would essentially be to get all of the items in our menu first, right? So we've done that once before. We can head to our Sublime Text. Let's make a new file. It can be shopping list.js, and we're just going to have a helper here. In fact, this is going to be really the exact same helper from the menu, so we can actually grab from menu.js and we can just copy all of this stuff. Now let's head to the shopping list, paste this in here. We can now change these words from menu to shopping list, like so. Okay, so now we're subscribing to the recipes, and we're going to find our recipes that are in menu. Now I kind of want to make this variable right here something a bit more obvious to what we're using. So I'm just going to say that the items in this list are our shopping list, okay? So our shopping list is essentially the same as our items in the menu. This is just recipes.find in menu equal to true. Okay, so now in our shopping list.html, we can do something that's very familiar. Let's go ahead and have an unordered list, and this is just going to be a class of shopping list, and we're going to essentially say each shopping list, and we're actually going to have an else for this as well, and then close this off with an each here. Okay, and what we want to do here is we can essentially say each shopping list, and inside of the shopping list we now have access to an object on our individual list item, which is going to be ingredient. If we hit this page, we hit Control M, you can see in your Mongol Meteor Toys, we can select this. If we pan over here, you can see that ingredients is just an array of objects here. So we can actually access ingredients just by essentially doing an each ingredients, because that's just going to iterate over that array. So we can simply say pound each ingredients like so. Finish this each off here. And now we can have a list item, and this list item is going to contain the name. Now, if this name field was out here, it would be giving the name of the recipe. But if you'll notice, we have a name property inside of here, and that's going to give us the name of the ingredient. Now we have name. Now we can just have, let's say, a hyphen. Then we can have a span with a class of amount. Now inside of this span, it can be amount. Now it would be important if you weren't requiring amounts here, you obviously would want to wrap this hyphen along with some of this stuff in like an if there is an amount that exists. Otherwise, this is going to show a hyphen and then have nothing. So there are some considerations there, but for this example, you can just assume that everything has an amount. And that's an improvement that you can make on your own time with this example. So we have name, hyphen, span, class of amount, outputting the amount variable. Okay, let's head to our list. And you can see we have bread, 2 slices, and cheese, lots. Well, we need that because the ahi tuna one we made this before this item had ingredients, so this doesn't actually have ingredients. If we come down here and we see fish tacos with ingredients, and we add this one as well, our shopping list is immediately updated to bread, 2 slices, cheese, lots, tuna, 1 pound, mango, 1 fruit. So what we've now generated here is a really nice shopping list so that who's ever going shopping, whether it's you or a friend or something like that, they can now have this list updated in real time as you make your menu. And of course, it looks pretty good in mobile. There's some stuff that could be fixed here, definitely. So that's also something that you could fix on your own time when improving this example. So we now have my shopping list, but what happens if we remove everything from the menu? Like so. You can see we have this blank sort of list here. So let's head back to our shopping list and let's fill out this else. Since this is inside of a unordered list, we can just say li, and we can throw like an H3 in here if you would like, or you can just have text, and we could actually just copy in the text from this recipe from the menu, this please add right here. So we can come back here, please add recipes to your menu. Okay, you can make those instructions more clear if you'd like. But for now, that is a giant H3. Let's tone that down a little bit by getting rid of that H3. There we go. And watch this auto update here. Perfect. Please add recipes to your menu. Okay, we can go ahead and do that. Shopping list. There we go. Okay, so what's left in this example? Basically, we need some way to update our items. For example, this item, it really has no ingredients, even though we would really like ingredients in this item. And we need some way to delete it if we no longer want it, right? I mean, that should be easy, and that should be something that we should just have here. In addition, the new item form, I don't know if this should necessarily be visible by default. So we can build a method for toggling this on and off. We can edit and delete our individual recipes, but other than that, this thing is looking really good. And we're a large amount of the way to a really nicely functioning web application. So as always, this is Scott with Level Up Tutorials. More new intermediate videos coming next week. If you want to help support, you can purchase the Meteor for Everyone series now for $9.99 with the code examples and 22 HD videos, or you can purchase the Next Level CSS animations and transitions, which is not going to be available on YouTube ever, and it's a premium package that gives project files along with some really nice practical examples for interface animations. So as always, this is Scott with Level Up Tutorials. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.